Your weather, because a lot of you are looking to the skies and planning and driving or flying to your destination for a long weekend. If you are headed out to the beach, this is Myrtle Beach. Looks pretty nice, calm. For now. For now, he says.
Sorry.
For now.
All right, how about this? Closer to home, right here, Freedom Beach Club, Boat Club, Lake Norman.
Yay!
Looks like there's a little bit of a breeze. One fella getting ready
looking really
out there
nice.
on the dock.
Gassing up the boats.
Nice. Way to go.
None of my friends.
We've been saying it.
Yeah,
I don't
calling
have-
out boat
If-
people.
I
If
don't
y'all
have friends.
if we have
That's it.
viewers, if you have a boat, let us know.
Let us
That's
know.
it.
We can take a remote live impact news there.
great.
On the boat.
Live impact on a
maybe?
lake?
Yeah.
Hello?
I did propose the live impact news boat, and that got denied. So we'll try again next
We could try
quarter.
again.
Hey, we can only
Yeah.
hope.
We have
But
the tracker.
We could pull
Yeah.
together and get a John boat.
Yeah, I think so. That would be nice.
A what
A
boat?
John boat.
A John boat.
Yeah.
Pontoon.
Yeah, I mean,
Come
we got to
on.
pull a little bit more together to get a pontoon.
I was
But
gonna say maybe we start with raft, inflatable raft, and then we'll work our way up from there.
All right.
All right. So there's a few things I'm going to talk about here. Number one, we're going to talk about the holiday, the July 3rd forecast that everyone's looking forward to. Just kidding. The July 4th forecast that everyone's looking forward to, and the big changes we have heading into the weekend. So we have been mentioning a chance for some sort of tropical development off the Florida coast to the Carolinas. It's almost more off the Carolina coast, and I don't think this is going to last very long, but things are indicating for a changing forecast that's not good for the beach. Regardless, rip currents, I think, are going to be bad starting as early as tomorrow as that system starts to develop. But let's get to the near term. Let's focus in on the good. Sorry for the maniacal laughter, Myrtle Beach, but things are changing. I couldn't help myself. 91 to 93, that's our general highs today, and we're going to have a real feel up to about 96, 97, which, by the way, Lily and I dug up these stats. June 26th is the last time we actually were feeling like the triple digits here in Charlotte.
okay.
So, yeah, it's been a little bit. And we had that little hot stretch where we had all of our triple digit heat indices, including one at 110. Be gone. We don't need you again. Our heat streak, I'm not too proud to say that we were wrong. We hit 90 degrees because we did mention here in the Impact Studio, this might have been covering my own derriere, that, hey, if the clouds do break earlier, we will hit 90. And what happens? The clouds, yep, you got it. And hey, c'est la vie. Now today is going to be day 15, and this is also just building on some of the stats that we put together yesterday. That moves us to the 5th longest streak over the last 10 years. Now, the longest all time is 33. The top 10 list actually ranges from 33 days to 18 days. So I think we're going to be just shy of that because of what happens on Sunday. Sunday, we're going to try not to hit 90 degrees yet again, but I have been fooled before, everybody. Our Sky Show Spectacular. Anyone going to this in the room?
Not me.
Probably not.
No,
Probably not
we
now.
got no naysayers here.
Okay, 0%. But it's great. If you've ever seen,
okay.
has anyone ever seen this? I saw it from a
Negative Ghost
distance
Rider.
once.
I saw him from a distance.
Yeah.
Distance.
Yeah. From a distance.
Okay,
Yeah.
Bette Midler.
Okay, you saw what I was throwing down. This is claimed. We cannot say this here personally, but I thought it was pretty cool from like 5 miles away, whatever it was. That's how big
Yeah.
it is. That one of the best fireworks displays that we have here in the area. So it's a little weird this year. It's usually on the 4th. You're like, what's going on? Well, they split it up. So there are 3 games here, and then they immediately turn around and they go to Jacksonville for the last 3 games. So they garnered some deal with the jumbo shrimp, maybe for some shrimp. That would make sense. I would do that deal too. And then tonight's forecast, 72. And I'm your stat man. The last time we had a below average low was June 3rd. We were 60 degrees that morning, and that was the coldest of the month. We mentioned earlier this week that June finished with the 5th warmest set of lows in June history for Charlotte. We've actually had 22 of the last 30 mornings hit 70 degrees or greater. And what's interesting about that is we range in the 60s. We still have an average low of 69 until July 5th. So it's really been our lows that have been well above normal compared to our highs. It's been still an above average high, don't get me wrong, but just letting you know that that's been a really continual trend. That's usually one of the biggest changes in climate change as well. Moving on to the 4th of July, very patriotic in the background. I don't know how you're spending it. Let's put a bookmark here. You
We're
guys,
here.
what are you guys doing?
We're here.
We're here.
Jane
here.
and I are holding it down.
Yep.
Okay, well, I will be here technically, but then I'll go home and I'm gonna beat my friends at cornhole. That's my plan. That's my plan.
American way.
Meanwhile, two of our best friends beat us every time, but not tomorrow.
Not
Not
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Oh,
Tomorrow
for the
I will
record.
gain my losing independence and finally beat them. That's right, talking about you, Mike and Molly, just like the show, and they don't like it when I reference
Yeah,
that.
that's nice.
But yeah, and afterwards, you gonna do any grilling or anything like that, or no? No.
I probably will not. I only have a little Coleman grill that's for tailgating. So unless I want to put that out in
Oh.
my garage,
You could
little
do it
car
here.
park, I guess I could.
You could do it here.
I
Yeah.
could do it here.
And-
Who's
Yeah.
gonna stop me?
Right.
Nobody.
Everyone's got
Everyone's-
it's me and Jade.
Yeah, just you two.
You know,
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Bips and Bob,
We'll
maybe a
have
couple
a-
extras,
Yeah.
but
Well, I
a few
will.
characters.
I will be
Everybody to
here
tell
at
us
9.
no.
I will be here at 9.
Okay.
So.
Do you want
All
an
right,
early
so
dog?
you can start our grilling.
Yeah, can you do it inside? Is that's probably
The
frowned
Coleman
upon?
grills do
no,
allow-
I'm
that's
just
the
joking. I
beauty
think
of-
literally
yeah.
we had to verify saying don't do that.
Don't do
Oh, okay.
Lily, what about you?
I personally will not be grilling, but I will be at the lake. So I'm
Oh,
Winner.
winner.
All right, well,
Do you
Lily
have a
comes
friend
in.
with a boat.
Makes us all look lame.
Yes, she says.
All right,
Okay,
well, that's
nice.
awesome. So, great day for the lake. So, again, boat friends, we're still looking for you. 4th of July forecast will be a little bit warmer. I think that we could hit a range about 92 to 94 across the area. 92 on Saturday. Sunday. I'm trying again. If you do recall, 90 degrees has, I'm going to say it again, pain in the derriere. First off, we kept on calling for 90 and it wouldn't hit 90. And now when we're calling that it's not going to hit 90, it hits 90. Come on.
Come on.
What's going on? All right, but at least we're transparent about it. And the reason why we're going 88 is for the same reason, the cloud cover. And this cloud cover is actually coming from what could be named Chantal or some sort of leftover tropical system. But if that cloud cover doesn't really reach us or it breaks in the afternoon, then we could be right back to 90 degrees. But right now, we're going 88 as we did for the previous system. Now let's talk about this. This little oval here was at one point when we started on Monday, a 20 to 40% chance, and it was either side of Florida. Now it's smack dab from Florida up the Georgia shoreline to south in North Carolina. It's in this zone. We now have a 60% chance this could turn to a tropical depression or a tropical storm. Now, this would, I think, be a subtropical storm, and we'll get to that. And we're going to raise your weather IQ because we can't turn it off. That's what we do here at WCNC. Check this out. This is really cool. I actually was having a lot of fun because I got to bust out some of my old tropographics, dusted them off physically.
Nice.
So here's later on tonight. 11 p.m. Nothing really happening. All right, let's see what's going on here. Oh, nope. Oh, the winds are starting to curve. Okay, so what you're seeing here is actually a front and a low starting to move over. This is a very broad circulation. Once this becomes a closed low, then we're going to look for the wind speeds for this to be a criteria of a tropical depression and or a tropical storm. So right here at 10 p.m. on Friday, we're also starting to see a little bit of green. This is not radar. This is a wind graphic. And watch what happens going forward. Ooh, seeing more
Stronger
green.
swirly.
Yeah, see that swirly? See how it's tightening up?
Yes.
And the one thing that fights against this is wind shear. Wind shear is the change of wind speed and direction. That, once it gets a little bit closer to the Carolina shoreline, I think could shred it a little bit. So it might not look as pretty, but watch this. We go a little bit further. Oh, seeing more green. And also, it's still a little bit more oblong. When you have an oblong center, that's another sign of it being a subtropical storm. So that's the indications here. This is 1 p.m. on Saturday. So at this point, winds are picking up. Umbrellas that you're forced to use instead of tents at Myrtle Beach, that isn't a complaint. It is. But as you get a little bit closer to your Saturday afternoon, the winds are physically picking up along the shoreline, at least gusts to 20. And if you've been on the beach with gusts or sustained winds at 20, that sand hurts. That's not great.
That's not fun.
So this is 7 p.m. at this point, and notice the eastern side. A typical tropical storm and or a hurricane is going to have its strongest winds around the center. Whenever it's a little bit further away from the center, that is a subtropical storm because it doesn't have all of the tropical criteria. So this right here, as far as the wind gust graphic alone, shows every pointings to a chance of this being a subtropical storm. Because if you look at the key in the top, anything in green is representing a 35 mile per hour wind gust. Anything in the red is up to a 50 plus, and then all we need is 39 for this to be a tropical storm, baby. And as it gets a little bit closer, heading into your Sunday, that's Sunday morning at 2 o'clock, we are now starting to see this starting to press in. So we could potentially, yet again, have a tropical system that doesn't last a day named and make landfall. So this will have impacts with some gusty winds. I think winds are a minimal impact, but we could also have a lot of rain. Here's another example. Another shout out. Lily made this morning. She's becoming a beast at these surface fronts.
Nice,
so
Lily.
that front that we saw earlier, that dives to the south. That also has a low attached to it. But whenever you also have dashed lines and fronts attached to a front, attached to a low, that is another feature of a subtropical storm if it potentially is doing that. So you will have that low actively over that. The worst case scenario, the one that doesn't pan out, is this is just a low pressure system. It rains and it's windy. It just doesn't get a name. That's the only difference. And we'll show you again, showing the circulation here. This time with the rain, you really start to see it organize, I think, on Saturday night. That's where you see the tightest circulation. I think it breaks up right before landfall. But plain and simple, you have a chance for a landfalling system on 4th of July weekend here in the Carolinas. And right now it looks to be anywhere between Myrtle Beach and Wilmington for the absolute center circulation landfall. But since the winds are further to the east, it would impact areas really heading up to Oak Island and as far north as Hatteras. And the quick movement of the system could potentially not ruin beach days, but it's still not great with the precursor winds and the rain that comes with it. Chantal, as we mentioned, is the next name in the list. After that's Dexter, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. So breaking down everything I just said, explaining what a subtropical storm is actually kind of a nightmare. This is the best case I've actually been able to probably explain in my career because it shows all the makings of it. So for a subtropical storm, the strongest winds are away from the center. Check. Fueled by upper dynamics. That's a front. That's a different things. Check. Warm water, got it. So everything is checked for a potential subtropical storm. The only way that this changes is if the center circulation winds go more towards the center, or you don't have that little dash line, that trough that's attached. Rip current forecast right now, we officially upgraded to a high right around Oak Island. This is kind of the topography that there's just a better environment for rip currents. It's actually Myrtle Beach up to around the Oak Island area that has the most rip current deaths. And yeah, Lily, let's bring this up because we updated this yesterday. Check this out. This is staggering. For the coastal Carolinas, since the year 2000, there's been 192 deaths from rip currents. That is more than tornado, flood, lightning, wind, and tropical deaths combined of 116. So it just shows how pertinent it is to be aware of this. Most people are ones that aren't locals. They don't know about this. Yeah. So we always tell you about that. You have to swim parallel to the shore. If you swim parallel to the shore, you have to have this mentally in your head, because if you're just out there having a good time and it's like, what's happening? If the red flag or the yellow flag is waving, then you know that, hey, I need to be at least in my mind that there's a chance for rip currents, because then if at least you are mentally sound, okay, I'm getting pulled out, I'm going to swim parallel. It's the ones that aren't mentally prepared, that know about this beforehand, those are the ones that panic. So if you go to the beach, you just got to keep this in the front of your mind, not the back of your mind. Okay, now we continue with the forecast. Your 7-day forecast will resume to pretty much just summertime status once we get done with this maybe Chantal storm, or at least tropical depression number 3. 7-day forecast brings us back to the lower to the even mid-90s, and those daily chances for rain and tropical air return. So that air you can wear and the hair you can't wear by next week, something we're so familiar with. But that's why it's also so nice that we literally only have a spotty rain chance today, so likely staying dry, and no chances for storms for your Independence Day.
All right. I feel like I've got that already anyway. hair you can't wear,
Yeah,
hair
no.
you can wear. Come May, it's like it's over.
put it up.
I just wave the white flag
Yeah.
and just
Put it in a
try to
clip and
go
call
with
it a
it.
day.
And as a short-haired male, you might be like, I was like, Chris, you don't understand. Once I get to like a 3-week mark, my hair's super poofy. So I understand that I have to use a larger quantity of gel.
Yes.
And then midway through our shows, I have to use more of it because it like eats it. So I understand on a smaller scale, ladies and long-haired gentlemen.
All right, thank you for empathizing. So
Of course.
Myrtle Beach today, right now, looks pretty.
Soak it up while you can. They can't
For
hear me, but
now.
soak it up while you can.
Full circle. Sorry, I had to do it again.
had to
Yeah.
do
Yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah.
This is a developing situation. This is why you continue to watch it. But the fact that it's Thursday now and you have a 60% chance, by the way, in the weather world, 60% is likely. And everything points to it. We showed a lot of evidence there that is really backing it up because guess what? The other 2 storms that turned into tropical storms had far less indications than this one is already showing.
All right, Sunday, probably no bueno. But we'll
I
see.
think it's cloudy here. You might have some rain specifically east of I-77, but the way this usually works is you have morning rain, then it starts to stretch away. So I wouldn't discount it, but I'm telling people if you're like, do I want to do it Saturday or do it Sunday? Saturday.
Saturday.
I'm making the
Saturday.
decision for you.
Okay.
Because why would you take the chance? Unless you want cloudy conditions with rain for, I don't know what you're doing. Where you need that. Maybe for photos, I guess, Sunday
Photos.
morning. But you can try that on Saturday as well. But yeah, it is. Do your outdoor plans Saturday. There's no chance for rain on that day as well. It's very similar to 4th of July, which is great. Just more clouds by the end of the day.
All right, very good. Got to come up with some plans.
I'm gonna catch you by the pool, I guess.
Oh, pool's
Pool.
got a big crowd.
Also looking for pool friends. All right.
Yeah,
Cool.
pool friends, boat friends, you name it. We need them. All right, thanks, Chris Mulcahy.
No, thank you.
All right, thank you.